Welcome home. Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Friday, it is Friday, October 21st. Good heavens. Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is 11:18 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. It is October 24th, 21st. It is Friday. Gosh, anyway, sorry about that. I couldn't see my schedule. Anyway, here you go. Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. Looking at Bitcoin Daily View. And once again, yes, just to confirm, because that was so ridiculous, it is October 21st. It is Friday. It is 11:19 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. We're running on Pacific Standard Time right now. All right, so BitcoinDailyView.com, got more for you there. The indicators that I use and stuff that I mentioned, things I endorse, it's all right there. Check it out. If you like anything that I mentioned, if it brings value, definitely buy me a coffee. It does help make all this worth it. Checking out these stocks will be especially volatile during today's $2 trillion OpEx. Really, I haven't seen anything too dramatic. People were wondering about with the expirations happening for a lot of the options, maybe it would be a very volatile day. Really, so far, it just hasn't been that big of a deal. So this is so far, I know it's still early in the day, but to me, it's kind of come and gone. All right. Oh yeah. Anyway, talking about volatility in the market, this is a fun one. It looks like the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol is going to subpoena Trump. That's really interesting. Doesn't matter where you fall on any of this. I'm just mentioning this because as we get towards the elections, crap's only going to get crazier. So expect volatility in the world, in the market, and possibly your own emotions, and definitely your family, family's emotions, friends' emotions. Be careful driving. So anyway, here's the thing. Let's look at this first. Let's go over to FinViz here. Okay. FinViz, as we can see, the Dow is up 1.9%, NASDAQ up 1.6%, S&P 500 up 1.8%. So in general, the day started with a little bit of a bump, then a dump. Now it's been moving up consistently. I kind of like it. Looking at the S&P 500 stocks here, everybody's in the green except for Meta. Good, they deserve it. Communication services, Verizon kind of down a little bit today. Wonder who they pissed off. Anyway, in general, a green day in the market. I like it. Not a super bright, incredible green day, but good enough. Especially with the all the OpEx options expirations happening. This is over on Zero Hedge. You can check it out if you want, but basically a lot of options expired. And anyway, did it affect the market? Well, what it did affect was we have a nice, beautiful uptrend after an uncertain open. So in general, the market's looking pretty good. S&P 500 strong. I'll take it. Good day. Looking at this dollar strength index today, right here in the middle and the top, we kind of have a wedge pattern going here. At least my idea of a wedge pattern. It's got to go somewhere. And look at this, towards the end of this wedge pattern here, this is a daily chart. It fired up this crazy Darth Maul doji. Look at that. Boom. So dollar strength index today, as it gets squeezed in this wedge, I think even though it's not over a long amount of time, but I mean, as you can see, DXY has just been a rocket ship to Pluto for quite a while, which has kind of been crushing the markets. But now we're starting to get a little bit of a sideways action. We've got a bit of a wedge pattern here. Which way is it going to go? And I just find it very interesting that today, as it's a red day for the dollar strength index, last day of the trading market, the weekly trading market, the 5-day work week for the traditional market. Check that out. It's boom. Look at that Darth Maul doji. Very, very interesting. That's going to wipe a lot of shorts and longs today. That might have been the volatility that the options expiring, the OpEx is had today. Looking over here at oil, indecisive, but a slightly green day. Looking at the S&P 500, as we can see, nice, beautiful uptrend. I like it, getting above the 20 WMA here on the daily chart. Looking at the Tech 100, like them or not, green day. I like that. Looking at gold and silver, gold here, bottom middle, silver bottom right. This is really kind of a beautiful thing. Gold making a nice rally, silver making a nice rally, silver crossing the 50 moving average today. That's kind of nice in the 20 WMA. That's silver. Gold not still above all important moving average, still below all important moving averages, but still gold strong, silver strong, dollar strength index, red doji with it. It's a screaming Darth Maul doji, just reaching out, trying to destroy everything. Interesting, just interesting day. Looking at the magic poop cannon, who's oftentimes more right than I care to admit. He mentioned BTC looks nasty here. It never regained the 200-week moving average. consistent rejections at the 50-day multiple, 50-day purple, multiple failures at the two ones at the 2017 high orange, failure at the bottom of the bear flag black, forming an inverted Adam and Eve, all set to fall 20% if things don't improve quickly. Well, we'll see how that turns out. I'll share this tweet here because I think it has value. I'm not like say, the Magic Poop Cannon. He's not often a positive guy. So when he is positive, I always it's nice to see. And as usual, he's not being positive. That's just kind of his style. But seriously, he's one to follow. He's one to watch. Watch for this dump. Be careful. Now let's check this out. Bitcoin isn't the white horse in the inflation fight that its disciples hoped it was. This is a short article. Really, it's not too incredibly informative, but I thought I'd just share it because really you don't need to even read it. It just basically says that exactly that. It's got volatility. It really has kind of followed the S&P 500 more than anything else. Yes, it does pump. Yes, it does dump. But really, has it been a hedge against inflation? Kind of depends on how long you've owned it. You know what I mean? So anyway, it just makes the case, and I think it's kind of a weak case that it's a hedge, that it's not a hedge against inflation. If you bought it in 2008, it certainly is, right? If you bought it when it was 20K, you're still breaking about even. If you bought it when it was 69K, well, then you're out of luck. It's not a hedge against inflation at all. But anyway, depending on when you buy it, if you're a trader, if you buy it on uptrends, if you have some kind of a strategy whatsoever, it's a hedge against inflation. But if you are kind of a buy, set, and forget, maybe people shouldn't be playing that game at all with any asset, really, even commodities. I think with that little bit of effort in trading and investing, the whole set and forget methodology is just sort of that might be over in the world for the time being. Anyway, at least with buying specific assets and not like indexes or something like that. Like your 401k, fine, dump money into that if you want, but still, even that is for a bet anymore. Anyway, not financial advice, entertainment purposes only, as always. Looking at Bitcoin, 6 billion in volume. That's not bad for a Friday. Looking at the big exchanges here, all of them are up today. You can see a nice spike as the 7-day graph here. You can see a nice spike as the volume has increased today. Not huge, incredible volume for today, but good enough. It's nice to see it all in the green. Binance only has 39 billion in derivatives. That's very, very low. Got at 50 billion for a good day at all. It's up 23% last 24 hours. That's kind of hopeful. We're riding into a Friday a little bit sideways. Bitcoin's kind of fighting a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of gearing up for a keeping the cards close to my chest kind of weekend. So look at this. Bitcoin in the top 100. Bitcoin coming in at 19,151. That's not bad. It's up about $150 since, well, we'll look at it in a second, but it took a dip below 19,000. I'm sorry, took a dip below 19,000, and but it's up to 19,138. So it's just kind of doing its range thing. But beware. Definitely watch this guy here. Watch. Put these in the chat. They're over Bitcoin Daily View also, but I'm gonna put these in the live chat. Watch for the volume here for Bitcoin specifically to get below 3 billion or like 3.5 billion or so, because when it gets low and it starts decreasing like that, especially over a weekend, that's definitely a time that you might want to have your dream limits in for some low buys. And of course here, when the big exchanges are in the green, that's a positive day. When you start seeing all the big exchanges turn red, then you might want to think about hopping out of positions and such, because we're most likely going to see a downtrend at that point. Green, good; red, bad. I only really note the top like 10. Sometimes top 20 or 30, but in general, the top big ones. Once you get down below like the top 50 or so, I kind of don't really care, but definitely, if the top 10, top 20, top 30 exchanges are all in the green, it's a good day. If they're in the red, or if you can see the volume, rising or lowering, basically hedge your bets, because green good, red not so good. Um, Looking at the top 100, we got some winners today. Quant coming in, QNT up 12%. I like that. Chili's up 10%. That's nice to see. Casper Network, whatever that is, up 12%. And Clay up 11%. So and Evmos, it's up 8%. So we got some of the top 100 doing well. Like seeing ApeCoin up 6.3%. We'll look at Ape before we check out of here. Anyway, top 100 not doing too bad. Most are not really performing today, but that's fine. A lot of volatility in the market. Looking at longs versus shorts on Binance, where all the volume is 70% long, 29% short for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, 62% long, 37% short for Ethereum. Looking at Bitcoin here, 45-minute chart, as you can see, I could maybe go to 4-hour chart, and we can kind of get a feel for what's going on here. I mean, let's look at this. We know we had our kind of, as you can see, 4-hour chart kind of tells the story here. Definitely had a dump start, back on April 22nd. Dumped again harder kind of May 22nd. We got another dump around June 22nd. And ever since then, we have this like nice sideways range going on. And of course, I often do this. I do this way too often, probably bore everybody to tears. But basically, as you can see, we've got this range going here, And if you ask me, if you kind of tighten it up, you most likely have the money that knows buying down here and selling up here. Or maybe they're playing a little bit tighter, some are probably playing a game maybe more like this, something like that. But anyway, guys, so it's a sideways range. You can kind of figure this range is sideways. It's kind of going between 24K and 19K. It's just rolling along, and you can even kind of zero in a little bit if you want, like down to here, and you can kind of see what they're doing. Between like 19 and 20K, just kind of ranging there with some dumps up and down. You can see this is this kind of like range right here is great. I mean, the whales love it. It wouldn't surprise me if they pump it again off this bottom and start to make some upward gains. Anyway, so this is a 4-hour chart. We can look at that, and you can see here on the 4-hour chart, the big thing that I notice here is that really Bitcoin is, as you can see, overall, if we look at it, I mean, we're looking at, I kind of like seeing it like this. Overall, you're kind of trending down right now in the 4-hour chart, and even though there's been some volatility, overall we're heading down. And also you can kind of look at this. Gosh, we've just been bouncing off this bottom here. Boom, 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 boom. So and we're at it again, or we're going to spike back up again. Well, looking at a 4-hour chart right now, the zooming in a little bit here. Squeeze indicator showing it's on the way down. Directional index is in the red. Binary candles were in the red. A little bit of volume just pumped here. We can see down here, which gave us a little bit of a green candle, brought us up a little bit. But in general, it's a sideways, just non-inspiring chart right now for Bitcoin. On the 4-hour chart, it really needs to pump above the 200 and the 314 moving average and kind of hold around like 19,800 or 700 or so. Hold there, find some support, keep moving, start moving up. Then we're going to see a lot of alts exploding. But, a lot of alts are making moves while Bitcoin's ranging sideways here. So let's real quick just look at this. These crazy red squares, I'll get into that at a later show, a later daily view. But right now the MACD on the daily is kind of too close to call. You can definitely see, I won't bother doing the Fibonacci sequence again, but I guess I can do it real quick, that we oftentimes look at here. If we do a fib and we start way back when we visited 3K range around March 2020, go up to that high that we had. And if you look right now, like right here at the 786 fib level, you can definitely see where we have this nice green box here. Then we even have like another one that's actually forming within that here. And those are basically, this indicator is called customizable pivot support resistance zones. I think I have it over at bitcoindailyview.com now. and you can find it. But basically, this is one that comes from this is a recent one that we learned about from Jonathan Regan over at Blockchain Education. So definitely, if you check out the description, you'll see a link. Come join the team over at Blockchain Education. You'll be glad you did. We share this kind of stuff all the time. We're constantly learning. 2 webinars a week where we just basically just absorb knowledge, look at charts, and trade with the team is better than trading by yourself. So basically, we are building a beautiful buy zone here at the bottom of the 786. And how long we've been kind of riding this 786 ultimately, here on the daily chart. How long we've been riding the 786? I would say we've kind of been riding it for, look at that, 123 days. I mean, of course, there's been some volatility within that. We've had some pumps, some dumps, but ultimately, let me get rid of these green boxes here, so it's a little bit easier to see. You could even call this, like I was looking at earlier, you could kind of call this a range if you want, really. We've been just ranging for 120 some days. I mean, there's definitely volatility in there, but we haven't really gone anywhere. We've just been bouncing off the 786, making little moves up, never quite got back to the bottom of the 618 golden pocket at a 650. .650. We never really got there. The 200 moving average is lowering itself. I mean, it's now below the 618 golden pocket. So really, it's all about how long we're going to ride here, and that's the thing. I mean, there's our beautiful, huge fib starting back in March of 2020. When we're down in the 3Ks, this fib sequence really works very, very well. You can see right now, 127 days, we've been in this sideways range, basically. Yes, look, good deal of volatility within it, but we've basically been in that sideways range. In my opinion, that is just whales, the big money, accumulating the crap out of Bitcoin while it tries not to pump the price and keep it in a beautiful spot there. So anyways, here we are. There it is. And it's all about when are we going to make a bounce off that. To me, one thing I'm really watching for is why I'm definitely hedged is if we do fall below the 786 fib, which is at 17,941, and we stay there past a quick wick. If we start moving down from there, really, I would say that sincerely looking at previous support levels like we have here. If we look at previous places where Bitcoin has had support, where we might be looking to find a spot to grab hold of and move up from, then of course really that's where you start to see the magic poop cannons logic come into play, and we could see a real dump. And so anyway, guys, I think the whales are accumulating. I really don't think the whales are accumulating to basically see Bitcoin dump. But then again, they play a long game. They may not care. Go back to 8K and sit there for a year and then start moving back up. I mean, they're playing a much longer game, in my opinion, than we can afford to. So anyway, guys, just be careful. Bitcoin is in a volatile spot right now. It has been for quite a while. It's all about whether you think it's going to break up or break down. So with that said, looking at, let me clear up all this stuff here. Looking at the 45-minute chart, it's not inspiring. Let's see if we can get a break. It is kind of pushing right now. I mean, it's kind of on the way down, but let's see if it breaks above. I have an alert set for breaking the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart and the 314 moving average on the 45-minute chart. And if it gets there and finds support and starts moving, then definitely we could see a little bit of action. I'm really not going to be too excited about Bitcoin. I myself am not going to hedge in at all to any of my USDT or USDC stash into Bitcoin until I see a run like this. But the problem is, we can see we kind of got excited back here, but then boom, it just friggin' dumped, So be careful. It's got to get above that 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. And also for me, I'm sorry, this is a 4-hour chart. So I was screwing you up there. Sorry about that, everybody. Gosh, I'm a little bit out of it today, as you can tell. 45-minute chart. Let me unscrew myself here. But you know what? I was going to say, I didn't get that totally wrong. So 45-minute chart, we're challenging the 200. We're challenging the 314. I have alerts there. I want to see it. I want to see it make a run like this. I'm really not really willing to play as far as, hedging my bets back into Bitcoin until I see something like that, until we see kind of a burst above and we see some sideways action. But as you can see, really right now, the world is kind of fraught with kind of BART patterns of one form or the other. So just be careful. Really, that's why I'm kind of mentioning the 4-hour chart, 45-minute chart. When I see Bitcoin above the 2-hour, above the to our 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, and it stays there for a while. Like this here, in my opinion, was great alt trading right here. We saw alts exploding, and I loved it. But then, of course, we saw this great big, dump, and well, that's a Bart Simpson pattern for you. So while we were riding high above the 200 moving average with this slight uptrend that we could see, it was great alt trading. Let's see if we can pull that off again, maybe this weekend. It could be great if this guy could get up here and kind of do that again. Just wonderful alt trading. Just be careful, because it'll probably do the same thing he did before. Eventually, once the whales are done making a little bit of long money. So for our chart, once again, I'm watching the 45-minute chart for kind of my alt trading, because that's where the explosive gains are kind of going to be. But as far as, do I want to hedge back into Bitcoin? Really not until Bitcoin has done something like this, till it breaks above the 200, 314, finds support, and just starts to kind of ride up. That's when I'll start to hop back in there, really around like 20,500 or something like that. We'll watch the chart, watch the indicator, see how it goes. But really, the 4-hour chart is going to tell me when I really want to get back in, along with also the daily chart being where daily chart's too far off. The daily chart needs to get above the 200 moving average on which is like 25,000 for the daily chart, and it'd be quite a ways. But you know what? Even before then, I would settle for if a 4-hour chart looks good, I would hop in when we had a nice positive, MACD, kind of a move, something like this, or like this. If we see that pull off here and go above the mid-range, then I think we're definitely in some Lamboy territory. Anyway, looking at my little Cayenne list here, these are just ones that I've been kind of watching. I'm really seeing a lot of this. There's just too many alts right now. It's not a very exciting trading weekend. Too many good alts are looking like this, where it's just dumping below the 200 moving average on a 45-minute chart. It's just waiting for Bitcoin to get healthy. Some things do make moves, have no doubt at all. I was watching QNT. QNT, let's chart this on a different exchange that looks better. QNT, here's a powerful one. Look at that. Downtrend, give it back, give it back, give it back, give it back. Starts to push against the 314. Now it just made a burst above the 200. Look at that. This is wonderful. Green Madrid ribbons. Hasn't quite gotten, it didn't burst fast enough to get a blue diamond merit badge, but the directional index is in the green. ADX is still a little low at 17. I've got some binary candles have gone green. No super really volume pushing this though, but regardless, nice looking squeeze indicator. This is really good. 45-minute chart. Let's look at a 15-minute chart. How's that look? 15-minute chart, nice and strong. I like it. Good chart in the 15. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. How's that look? It's above the 200 moving average, so you won't really find resistance there. Indicator is not as strong on the 4-hour chart, but they're turning up enough. We'll see how that rolls. How about a daily chart for this one? Daily chart. Actually, let me go back to here. Bonk. Let me hit daily. How we looking? Daily chart. Daily chart's above the 200 moving average. So daily's above the 200 moving average, 4-hour chart's above the 200 moving average, and looking at 45-minute chart, this made a strong break. This actually, once I hang up the phone here, I might actually hop in this one with a small position and put my stop right under the 200 moving average here, because it's either going to run or it is not. And then as far as where my like trailing take profit might be, let me look at a forecast here. From where we're sitting, if I was to get on here, let's see, like it's gone like previous support resistance right around like 7%, 8%. What if it runs all the way to like 16%? Yeah, I might do it in my famous like put a 5% trailing take profit with a 3% negative to sell, and then put my stop loss right below the 200 moving average. It's either going to make it or it's not. And I might wait for another 45-minute candle or two for it to find support above the 200 moving average and be moving up. And maybe the ADX hit about 20. Then I'd probably may see about hopping in, because it might give all this back pretty quick. Anyway, guys, QNT, BTC is one that I'm watching today. If you got some extra BTC, maybe have some fun. Anyway, guys, sorry, a little bit low energy today. Just got a lot going on, a little busy. In the market, it's not that incredibly inspiring. Check out ratingcreators.com. That's my other podcast. Got a lot of new guests recently. Just give it a peruse. I think you'll like it. I'll put that in the live chat. And along with that, I have some interesting guests coming up the next day or so. So it just keeps getting better. Anyway, guys, the truth is out there. Thanks for being a part of the peaceful revolution. Every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, really, it punches a nasty globalist in the nuts. It screws up their plan. It kind of screws up the Great Reset. We can all be cynical and say it doesn't make a difference, but it does. Kindness makes a difference. Goodness makes a difference. Caring about your neighbors makes a difference. And Bitcoin Satoshis make a difference. So thanks for being part of the peaceful revolution. Stack all those things, and let's basically make the reset, the Great Reset, the Great Awakening, and make this world a better place. So anyway, guys, take care. Talk to you later.